Hello, today I'm going to show you how to program the inverse chi-squared program on the TI-83 calculator. I don't personally have a TI-83, so I'm actually going to do it on a TI-84, but make it look as similar to the TI-83 as I can. So the first thing we want to do is go to Program. We want to create a new program, so we press the right arrow key until we're on New, and click 1. We need to name the program. Notice how the cursor is a blinking capital A. That means no matter which key we press, we're going to get the letter above the key option. So this is the inverse chi-squared. So let's name this INVCHISQ and press enter. Now we're ready to start entering the program. This program is going to input two values, the area to the left in degrees of freedom, and then output the answer. So we're only going to have 3 lines of code. To get the input, you press Program. IO stands for input output, so overwrite, and then option 1 is input. Now you have to type a prompt for the user. So since this is going to be the area, I'm going to type area to the left. Because I'm going to be typing with letters, you want to put the alpha lock on. So second alpha. The prompt always has to be in quotation marks. So quotation marks, A-R-E-A, space is above the 0 key, 2, space, the, space, left. And then it's just good programming habits to put a colon after every prompt and a space. And then colon. Now I want the comma key, but if you notice, if you press the comma key right now, it actually puts a J. So let me go right, delete that. I have to turn my alpha lock off. So if I press alpha, now I can press comma. After the prompt, you need to give the input variable a name. Well, since this is area, A makes the most sense, so alpha, and then A. Do a similar line, you have to press enter first. Now we want to input the degrees of freedom. So program, IO, 1. Again, we need the prompt, so turn your alpha lock on. Quotation marks, degrees of freedom, let's just use D, F, colon, space, quotation marks. Again, we need the comma, so press alpha first to turn off the alpha lock, comma, and let's use D for degrees of freedom, so alpha, D. Now that we've inputted our two variables, we want to solve an equation and display it at the same time. So, to display it, program, IO, and DISP. It may be a different option on the TI-83 than it's on the TI-84, but it does have the DISP. Just like with input, we need a prompt. The prompt is going to be text, so we turn on our alpha lock. And let's call this the critical value. And again, end it with a colon, space, press the colon twice, colon, space, quotation marks. And just like with input, we need a comma before we do our answer. So alpha, to turn the alpha lock off, comma. Now what we're actually going to do is solve for when the chi-squared CDF function that's already on the calculator equals A. Well, in order to do that, we need to use the solver on the math program. So to get to the solver, you press math, press the up arrow key, and it should be the very last option. Now on your calculator, it actually may say solver or numerical solve instead of just solve. Whatever it says, just press enter. And it should type word solve for you. The first option of the solve function is you have to type the equation in that we want. So that means, like I said, chi-squared CDF. So we're going to go second vars. And chi-squared CDF is option 8 on mine, but I believe it's option 7 on the 83s. So after you input it, you get chi-squared CDF, open parenthesis. Now what you have to type in is your upper bound, which is, not upper bound, lower bound, which is 0, comma, upper bound. The upper bound is actually what we're solving for, so we don't know what that is yet. So that's going to be x. So this is the shortcut for typing an x, comma, and then you need degrees of freedom. And if you remember, our second input line was degrees of freedom, so that'll be D. For D, you do have to press the alpha button first. Then since these three are only part of the chi-squared CDF function, and there's a parenthesis here, to close this function, we do a parenthesis. Now remember what I said is we want to figure out when does this equal A. The solve or solver only works when you're solving something equal to 0. So if I'm looking for when this equals A, it's equivalent to looking for this new expression that I just typed in equal to 0. Because if this is equal to 0, you can add A to both sides, and then that equals A. And then comma, which variable you're looking for, comma, and it's always a 0. If you try typing something else, then it just doesn't work. And then close parentheses to close the parentheses from the solve function. And we're done. Unfortunately, there's no save or confirmed that you're done. It saves as you type. So then we go second mode to get out of there. Now to use the program, you go program, and under the exec or executable menu option, you should see your program. You press enter. This just calls the program. It doesn't actually start it. You have to press enter one more time to start it. So let's just do a mock problem. Let's say we're doing a 95% confidence interval. So that means our area to the left is 0.975. And our sample size is 30, so our degrees of freedom will be 29. Then it gives us a critical value of 45.72. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.